These things that will help our brains to adapt to change more easily are as follows, and will help your team to embrace hybrid. The first is to involve them in the decision making. It doesn't mean that you give them full autonomy in terms of when they're going to come into work and when they're going to necessarily work remotely, but it does mean giving them a sense that they have some sort of autonomy, they have some say in the decision making, that you're at least having conversations with them. One of the worst things to do is to tell people this is what's happening, this is what's going on, without listening to their point of view, listening to their perspective. It doesn't mean you always have to make decisions based upon, what the consensus shows, but it does mean that you should be trying to give them some sense of ownership, some sense of autonomy. The reason for this is simple. The chemical in our brain, which is responsible for our motivation, it's known as dopamine. Dopamine is elevated by a number of different factors, and one of them is control. The more control we perceive ourselves as having, the more motivated we will be. And if you want people to be motivated about hybrid, you need to get them to feel that it's not something that's being imposed on them, it's something they're participating on, they're building, and they have an autonomous sense of control or sense of influence over the process. Number two, it's important to emphasize the benefits of both working remotely and working in the office, and reasoning why this works better for these kind of tasks, this works better for this, why both are important. So often what we tend to do is we tend to say, this is what we're doing, because again, the powers that be might be declaring this is how we're going to work from now on. But as well as having conversations to give them a sense of autonomy, we also need to emphasize the benefits, the good point, the advantages of working remotely, the advantages of working in the office, so that people can feel that they're actively doing something that makes sense logically, that gives them an opportunity to be able to do what works for them as best as they can. Something else that's important to be aware of is highlighting the importance of the shared purpose. Making sure that we collaborate with our colleagues, making sure that people feel that they're working with each other, whether they're virtual or whether they're in person. They feel like they're collaborating with other people that they work with on a day-to-day basis. When you build this shared collaboration, when you use the term we and our and us, those kind of words to denote you as well as the people that you're working, that may be remote working. So people from the office and people who are working remotely are both communicating as a shared we towards a shared purpose. That is when you're going to maximize the aim of hybrid. And this is also because whenever we feel part of a group, our principle described by Robert Cialdini as unity, where it's much easier for us to interact with each other, be influenced by each other, and work towards an overall purpose that helps us achieve what it is that we want. So again, building this shared we towards a shared common purpose is crucial. Then we also have being extremely clear of expectations. So often, one of the biggest challenges we have is because we're not clear about exactly what we expect. And it's vital whenever we set up new rules for a new way of working that we're very, very clear over exactly what is it we expect of people when they work virtually, what we expect of people when they work in the office, how often we expect it. We need to be very clear of expectations. Any ambiguity whatsoever is a villain in this context. And we need to be very, very careful and very, very cautious around villains like that, because inevitably, if we do not get full clarity for ourselves and we do not articulate that clearly to the people that we work with, then we're going to find there's going to be a lot of problems and teething problems over the course of the next few months and even over the duration of the first couple of years even. So it's vital that we're very clear with that.